All right. Excuse me. How you guys doing? I hope y'all are having a good weekend so far. Been a lot of work behind the scenes that I'll be happy to discuss in a little bit, of course. Don Maximum, I believe you are first. Always have to have a first when it comes to these, right? All right. So once again, we will do a little bit of a double feature. So we will run a Racing Infinity Live. It'll be the 2006 Nextel Cup at Iowa, chosen by you guys, of course. And there will be the Sunday Night Lights mock race, which will be 1997 Winston Cup at Rockingham, UK. So not the Rockingham, North Carolina, the Rockingham over in the UK. So that'll be a fun track for sure. I already got qualifying saved for those. Is the number font for? Let me see. Is the number font the DEI or the Stavola brothers? The one on the left, that is the Racing Infinity one. So that is DEI. So, Motorsports fan, how you doing? All right, cool. I'll get started here shortly. So I'll do a little bit of talky talk for a couple minutes, then I'll do the first race, and then I will show you guys a sneak peek of Sunday Night Lights Restarts Part 2, which will come out next Friday the 17th. Been working very hard at that. Jimmy Hawk, how you doing? How am I doing? I'm doing good. A little bit of a long day. I admit I did not watch the Xfinity race earlier. I'm caught up with it, but the reason was because I had an early bird shift at work, so I worked 4:30 a.m. to 12:30, and because of that, I elected to take a nap because I am a night owl, and yeah, get plenty of sleep, folks. Don't get me wrong, I love the job I do. So congrats to Justin Allgaier. Glad he finally picked up a win. He's usually pretty good at Darlington. Really love the throwbacks. I love SVG's throwback, the Marco Zambros one. 15th place, if I remember correctly, he got 15th and no practice. That's pretty impressive. I mean, SVG's getting better every week. I'm really, really impressed with him, and I really hope he gets a win here soon. You know what? Even not just, we can talk about the road courses, but I hope he can steal one on an oval to really make people go, whoa, So I don't know. I've ever since Chicago last year, I admit I've been on the SVG train, so it's been fun watching him race for sure. I had no idea. Yeah, there. Unfortunately, it closed in 2018. But yeah, it's a really unique shaped oval. It's over in the UK, of course. So it's a really fun looking oval. It's a shame it went away, but it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what things look like when we run this race here later on. Still in disbelief over the finish from Kansas, but I think. Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, I still can't get over that. Regardless of who won, I think NASCAR won because first of all, the race was amazing from start to finish. We have seen some of the best mile and a half racing in years with the next gen car. So I it was just fun to watch from start to finish. Probably one of the best mile and a half races I've ever witnessed. And that finish, I mean, 1/1000th of a second. 1/1000th of a second. I'm gutted for Buescher, of course, but man, I can't get over that. And there's a good chance we may get a close finish again before the season's out, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised. Who do you think will win tomorrow? That's a toughie. I mean, I feel like Denny Hamlin will always be in the discussion because it's Darlington. The RFK Fords look fast. I would love to see Chris Buescher have a little redemption from last week. Because you feel like, at some point he's going to get in victory lane this year. I mean, I always believed with him that if he had the right equipment, he would win races. And now he does. So, I always believed that, Let's see, what else? Ross Chastain, can't go wrong with him. Won the truck race last night. It's always fun to watch him smash a watermelon. All right. And speaking of Trackhouse, Cone or Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, what did he tweet earlier? Because I think he spoke it like a true NASCAR team owner, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, when everybody going right, you got to take that risk and go left. I love it. Will Kodak AMSA Stock GT expand the schedule? You will find all that out very soon with Sunday Night Lights 1998, and we have been working a little bit more on figuring out silly season and schedule stuff, and of course once Restart Part 2 is out, we're going to hit the ground running with 1998. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the All-Star race. I know North Wilkesboro got repaved, so a lot of unknowns going into that one. We'll just have to wait and see. I watched Speed Racer recently because it's free on YouTube. Literally as into it as I was a kid. Oh, yeah. I remember seeing the live-action Speed Racer movie in theaters as a kid. I think it came out in like 2007, but yeah, that was. I thought the movie was pretty good. I've got to ask you this question: what were some of the closest finish you've ever witnessed in any NR2003 project you've worked on or watched? I will say this: I'm going to save a few of them for Restart. But let me just say that 1991 had a very close finish. And not only that, I mean, I could already talk about some of them just because Restart Part 1's out, but 84 500 between Earnhardt and Rudd for Sunday Night Lights. Oh, man. That's a good question. Because I'm waiting for the day I get like a dead even finish. I'm waiting for the day, and now it can't. I feel like it's going to happen. I bet you that's what's going to happen in when I do 98. I'm going to get a finish, and they're going to be dead even, and I'm going to sit there and go, "Oh God, what now?" Because there are rules for if there is a dead heat. It's not like cars where it's a 3-way tie and they're going to go race in California, even though it's a fun concept. Yeah, 16 viewers. I think that's the most ever for a stream. So, seriously, thank you guys so much. As a Jimmy fan, I'm hoping Bowman wins. I'd like to see Bowman win, too. Always liked the guy. Just really hoping he grabs a win soon. He's had some hard luck. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully he can pick up a win here soon. Because he's a good driver. I think he is. I really think he is. He won 4 races in 2021. So, and I know that was with the Gen 6, but still. I think he's got loads of talent. And that's the other thing, too. Yeah, Ford still hasn't won. That's crazy. I hope they win soon. Speaking of Ford, obviously Michael McDowell heading to Spire. After he had just announced that he was leaving front row, and suddenly, like, an hour later, Spire's like, you know what, I'm just going to drop this. So it's kind of like, okay, that's fascinating. Which means I would assume Zane Smith's going to a third Trackhouse car. That just depends. I know he's been struggling a little bit. Things can change. I think he's had some bad luck himself as well, especially to start the movie. Or start the... Why did I say movie? My brain's still scrambled. I apologize. Have I mentioned I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning? I had a nap, though. Anyway. Oh, was it 2008? Oh, my bad. Okay, well, you know what? I was close. Herbie could beat Mach 5 any day of the week. I saw Herbie in theaters too. I saw Herbie. That was like '05, wasn't it? I think I remember. Yeah, because that was Lindsay Lohan. I think it was. That final race took place at the now defunct, well, for now, Auto Club Speedway. Hopefully we'll get some news on that short track very soon. What is your favorite track? Well, if I'm probably the only YouTuber to say this. It's out of bias just because I grew up going there, Kentucky. I grew up going there for a lot of years, so that's a special place in my heart. Kansas has become one of my favorites for sure, and I admit Gateway is also one of my favorites. I will be at Gateway again this year with my father, because that's kind of I got a lot of family in the St. Louis area, so I go there quite a few times a year. So that Gateway has kind of become my new Kentucky in a way. Not to mention, it's a nice track. And honestly, man, it's kind of cool that it's really close to downtown St. Louis. I mean, I remember 2022, I sat in the turn 1 seats. I look over to my left, and the arch and everything's right there. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to being at Gateway. There's a few other races I'd like to be at. I definitely am going to Indy. I'd like to get to Nashville. I'd like to get to Chicago. Love to get to Chicago. But yeah, I do have a little bias since Kentucky's always been my home track. But a lot of fun memories there. I saw David Gilliland shock the world in 2006 there. I saw Dario Franchini's flip there in '07. And, of course, all the cup races and all that fun stuff. So, let me see. What else am I missing? Would there be more NASCAR movies in Sunday Night Lights? You never know. I'll leave it as that. You never know. Right? Let's see. WNAP. Yeah, right. So what happens when I'm 27. This is what happens when you get older. All right. I don't want to waste too much time. Let's go ahead and hop into the race here. This first one, I already did qualifying for it, so let me make sure everything is golden. Resume saved race. Yes, I would love to do that. Okay. Make sure the game's all loaded up here. Alright, perfect. So I already ran qualifying for this one. Figured I'd at least just jump ahead here. So, we got Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the two big rookies from the year 2000 on the front row. And
drivers, to your cars.
We have Jeff Burton, Casey Kane in row 2. Row 3 is Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Row 4, Kyle Busch and Tony Stewart. Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle in the next row. Yeah, so, yeah, funny how we mentioned Iowa. Yeah, and of course, they're going to be on the Cup schedule this year. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the race goes there. I think this will be a fun one. Also seems fitting since I believe this is when the track opened. TV8's Diecasts, how you doing? So we got Jimmy Johnson, Scott Riggs, Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, and Carl Edwards. In another timeline, the 1992 Cup champ Kyle Petty and Martin Truex Jr., Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, J.J. Yeley, Ken Schrader, Tony Raines, Casey Mears, Jamie McMurray, Sterling Marlin, Michael Waltrip, that 1 year he drove the 55 Dodge, Elliott Sadler, Reed Sorensen, Brian Vickers, Dale Jarrett, and Jeff Green. In another timeline, this driver has won a Daytona 500, Joe Nemechek, Dave Blaney, Travis Quaffle, Robbie Gordon, Elliott Sadler. No, that should be Jeremy Mayfield. I apologize. You know what happened? I mixed the schemes up. So that 19 is Jeremy Mayfield. I do apologize for that. That's a mistake on my part. Scott Wimmer, David Stremme, Brent Sherman, and Kenny Wallace. So yeah, just a note, the 19 is Jeremy Mayfield. So I apologize for that. Michael Waltrip in the 55. Yes! Michael Waltrip in the 55! If only Tony Stewart didn't throw that block, right? Yeah, that's what we got going here. It's a nice little fun track. The 32 is a Chevy. Yeah, the 32... Because they were Ford, then they were Pontiac, and then in 04 they went to Chevy. Yeah, because Pontiac left. Because if I remember correctly, Bobby Hamilton Jr. was driving that 32 car at the time. We're about 30 seconds away from the cars rolling off. And hopefully all the cars here, I see 41, hopefully they all roll off, because it's never fun when one of them goes down the pit road right away. Sometimes I do have a rule where, you know, if like somebody blows their engine before they even start, then I'm like, okay, I want to make sure every car starts the race. Give everybody a fair shot. So, all right. Should be a fun one.
Drivers, start your engines!
Yes, Elliott Sadler. It's very comical because he literally went to the 19 right after NASCAR 07 had come out, which he was on the cover of with the 38 car. So I always thought that was comical. So, Brickyard 400 winner Kenny Wallace. Yep, that's right. Sunday Night Lights. All right. It was absolutely a Chevy before it died. Yeah. So 63 laps around this fun little oval here in Newton, Iowa. It's Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading us to the green flag, and we're underway from Iowa. Iowa, if I'm correct, home to one of my favorite bands, Slipknot. I would quote their music, but I don't want to get hit with copyright. So with that being said, Kenseth and Dale Jr. side by side as Kenseth will have the upper hand. Jeff Burton looking for second as Jr. tries to use that high line. He sweeps up high. They continue to be side by side for second. Kenseth leads lap one. Harvick now slipping into third. 3 wide here for fourth between Hamlin, Kane, and Dale Jr. Jr. having a rough start here so far. The outside line not doing him any favors. He's going way up high on the track, and Dale Jr. slaps the wall coming off turn 4. Oh, man, he kind of rode the wall there in a little bit, not like the Hail Melon that happens in 2022. So Dale Jr. does fall back to about 7th or 8th place. Meanwhile, up front, we start to settle in. Kenseth leads. Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick, pair of RCR teammates, run second and third. Rookie Denny Hamlin in fourth. Casey Kane fifth. Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart battling for, that is 6th place. Take a look at what he did! God, Rick Allen's amazing. Side by side, Stewart trying to get around Kyle Busch. Busch trying to hang on to that more so middle groove. Dale Jr. is trying to bounce back after that bit of a rough start there as he sticks behind Tony Stewart. At this point, a 2-time Nextel Cup champ. Ooh, Kyle Busch swinging way up high. He might have scraped the wall a little bit there. He loses another spot to his teammate Jimmy Johnson. Busch falls back to 9th with Ryan Newman behind him. And we have a caution. I have a feeling we could get quite a bit of those. Alright, let's see when the lights turn on. Okay. Whoa, we got a wreck here in the back. I see Brian Vickers, David Stremme. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Stremme went way up on the track, getting into the 25, and those two cars with the most damage there for sure. See if I can get another... Ooh, that's a nice angle. Anyway. Yeah, an onboard here of the 40 machine. Let's go back to the 7 car. So, yeah, it looks like David Stremme... Yeah, he just goes way up on the track, putting the 25 into the wall. The 7 kind of joins him. I think the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield also had some damage from that. Oof. Michael Waltrip gets through that with no issues whatsoever. So yeah, caution out for the first time here at Iowa. David Stremme and Brian Vickers get involved into a wreck coming off turn 2, just 5 laps in. And they just went way up high on the track. Robbie Gordon, Jeremy Mayfield with a little bit of damage. Stremme is back on the track. Meanwhile, I don't see the 25 anywhere. He is... Okay, Brian Vickers is still on pit road. Assessing the damage onto that number 25 GMAC Chevrolet. So with that being said, we are under caution here. What are your thoughts on SHR selling one of their charters? Yeah, not only that, I've heard that they might sell their shop. They may merge with FRM. And if that's the case, who stays, who goes? I feel like at this point you got to keep Gregson because he's been doing really well. I'd keep Chase Briscoe maybe because I still think he's good. You know, I think it's more of a car problem than anything. I'm not sure what the 10 team has figured out, but they're definitely onto something. Because I would think about, like, okay, who's going to take 34 with McDowell leaving? But then I think, well, there's this merger happening, so it's hard to say. I mean, if Stuart Haas sells 2 of their charters, I think one could go to Trackhouse for Zane Smith, and the other one probably goes to 2311 for Corey Heim. Because a lot of indications tell me that Corey Heim's going Cup racing full-time next year. So. But yeah, that's kind of what I think about that situation. So the 66 of Jeff Green appears to be a lap down already. I did not catch exactly what happened. We'll check that later. But we are going back racing here. Coming to 10 laps complete here at Iowa. And Matt Kenseth gets a really good restart, and we're back underway. Excuse me. Kevin Harvick trying to clear a driver once his teammate, Jeff Green. Now Harvick is way up high on the track. He may lose that spot to Denny Hamlin. Tony Stewart up there in the mix. Jeff Burton as well. I could see RFK getting a charter as well. Man, Jeff Green holding his own, and because of that, Matt Kenseth's going to pull away easily as Denny Hamlin now up to second here. But yeah, I could see RFK getting a charter as well. I think they'll be in the running to make the number 60 full-time, and it's going to be interesting who takes that ride. Will it be Justin Haley? Will it be somebody else? I never watched Herbie or Talladega Nights in theaters. I first watched those movies after I became... Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I did not see Talladega Nights in theaters. I did see Herbie. So, Oh dear, another caution. Good old short track racing in NR2003. WWE wrestler Sheamus likes to say banger after banger after banger. I like to say caution after caution after caution. Anyway, looks like it's centered around the 4 of Scott Wimmer this time. Whoa, he just washed up the track. He just lost it. And that is what leads to our second caution. We were only about 2 or 3 laps under green. Yeah, I'm not sure where the damage came from Kyle Petty. I'll have to see that too. Let's see here. Yeah, the 4 just... Oh yeah, he just lost it. Went up the track and... even tagged the 32 of Travis Quaffle a little bit. Well, that being said, I'd like to see what happened to Kyle Petty while we're under caution. So this was on lap 6. Okay, look, at this point we were already under caution, so I'm guessing there was just a big stack up that caused him to get a lot of front end damage, probably. Oh, yep, there it is, right into the 26. That is Kyle Petty in the 45. This is the 2006 Nextel Cup, as it was in real life. So second caution out this evening for Scott Wimmer, just losing it up the track. Casey Kane down pit road. That's interesting. Let's see who else. I see Brent Sherman, Jeff Green coming down pit road. Let's see if anybody else was on pit road. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. I know some tracks will have a little stop and go thing. That was rather odd. Clearly, Casey Kane must have had an issue, because now that's going to send him all the way back. Looks like Jamie McMurray was also on pit road. Jimmy Johnson has worked his way up to 3rd place. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got some rear end damage. Hopefully that won't affect his car too much, as the lights are off for the pace car and we're getting set to go back under green in just a few moments. Let me know who you all think will win this race. So we'll have a few more lap cars there on the inside line. Actually, just a couple more right now, as it looks like. So Jeff Green, Brent Sherman, and Jamie McMurray are 1 lap down. It's Kenseth, Hamlin, Johnson, Burton, Dale Jr., your top 5, as we are about to get back to racing. Then it's Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, Robbie Gordon working his way up to 9th, and in 10th is Ryan Newman. And here we go. Green flag is back in the air. As they go back up through the gears and heading into turn 1. Kenseth has everybody cleared as Denny Hamlin looks to clear the 66. And Hamlin clears green. Jimmy Johnson hoping to do the same thing. Meanwhile, some of the other leaders are getting held up by the 26 and the 49. So because of that, Kyle Busch is now 4th. Tony Stewart is 5th. Ryan Newman working his way up the picture as well. Dale Jr. losing some spots. Huge shakeup here on this restart. Carl Edwards cracking inside the top 10 now. Robbie Gordon trying to hold his own. Kevin Harvick has also lost several positions. Almost 1/3 of the way through here at Iowa. The one close NR2003 finish I saw was Matt Kenseth and Casey Mears being dead even at the start-finish line in 2013. Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. Back up front, Denny Hamlin trying to chase down Matt Kenseth. As Kenseth has been leading since the start, Jimmy Johnson looking to reel him in as he's back in third. Right now it's down to these three. Plenty of racing left to go still. Trying to get some green flag laps in. We had a couple of cautions here early. We'll have to see if any of the other leaders can catch back up, as now they're trying to clear all the lap traffic. Kyle Busch has settled into fourth. Then it's Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton, Carl Edwards, excuse me. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr. in eighth. Robbie Gordon in ninth. Good run for him here today. And Ryan Newman is 10th. Future teammates are indeed one, too. That's a good point. Jimmy Johnson slowly reeling in the 11 and the 17 cars. Kyle Busch also playing a game of catch-up. "25 laps now are complete. Battle for position back here. We got Ryan Newman and Robbie Gordon. That is a battle for ninth. Kevin Harvick in the mix as well as Kurt Busch in the 2, who replaced Rusty Wallace at the end of 2005. There's the other NR2003 What If timelines, and the craziest one so far was Tony Stewart to Dodge and Chip Ganassi. And yeah, Fork in the Road, yeah, that's been a really good series. Definitely check those guys out. Yeah, that's really interesting, because I know that was kind of a rumor around that time. We're in the early 2000s that Stewart could potentially go to Ganassi, because obviously he did drive the Indy 500 for them. So that's an interesting domino effect when you look at, oh, wow, so he wins the Indy 500, maybe this is a possibility. Robbie Gordon trying to hold his own here in ninth, meanwhile. Now being challenged by that Reese Chevrolet of Kevin Harvick. And Harvick will take that position away as Gordon slides up the racetrack. So now Harvick will jump into ninth place. Now in 10th place is Ryan Newman. Funny thing nowadays, because Tony Stewart is running a Dodge in the NHRA. Yeah, that is kind of ironic, isn't it? Well, it seems that Matt Kenseth is starting to pull away from Denny Hamlin. Very dominant so far in this one. Are the UK band Oasis performing a pre-race concert before the Rockingham UK race? It's possible. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Sorry, I had to. I mean, it would have been... I mean, with that kind of talent that Tony had, it's certainly interesting to think what that would have looked like, and who would have taken the 20 car. Because I think in Fork in the Road, it's going to be Jason Leveler, I think. Now, one NR2003 finish I remember was from NRB's 4 Universe, where Dale helped Junior win the 06 500 in his last race. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that one. That's pretty cool. I know in Griff's What If Dale Earnhardt's series, I know that he did the 2016 500 where Dale Jr. pushed Jeffrey to win the 500. Especially when Moy's in the Barbie car racing Death, the Destroyer of Worlds. Yeah, that's going to be exciting to touch up on and everything that's happened so far in the SNL timeline, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Man, I can't help but think of that infamous Barbie Girl song by I think the group's called Aqua. You know, I'm not gonna sing it, but you know, instead of "Come on Barbie, let's go Barbie," can you imagine "Come on Patty, let's go Patty"? Can you imagine that? Oh man, I think we have a caution. Oh, Dave Blaney, heavy damage. Smoke coming from that 22 car, so he's definitely done for the day. Martin Truex Jr., it looks like, was the initial starter of this incident. Oh, dear. Oh, just like that first caution, slides up the track into the 42. Look out. Kurt Busch, Casey Kane. And then, oh, wow, David Stremme. He's probably done for the day, too. Potentially heavy damage to that number 40 Dodge. Oh, man. MTJ also heading to pit road. So, yeah, it looks like he just slides up the track right into the 42 of Casey Mears, and then look out. Oh, man, David Stremme. Good Lord. That'll catch on in the live chat in the comments. I mean, so did the Twix yard, right? we like having fun. What did Christopher Bell say? This is fun. We're having fun. On board with Dave Blaney. Look out. Into the 9, into the 1. Nowhere to go. His day is over. Same for the 1 team of Truex and probably the 40. Just an unfortunate set of circumstances for some of these drivers here today. Some leaders are going down pit road. Kenseth is pitting. I'm not sure what Dave Blaney is doing there. He's trying to cause some havoc here on the 17 car, but now he gets by. So, let me see here. Ron Fellows winning at Watkins Glen was cool since he finished that trip. Yeah, in the Busch Series. Yeah, 97. That was pretty cool to see. No more crazy than Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon driving Fords. So Kenseth's team going to work on that 17 Ford. And he will pull out ahead of Denny Hamlin, I think. I want to say he did. Not going to lie, they took quite a bit on pit road. Yeah, it looks like they are saying that Matt Kenseth did pull out ahead of Hamlin. So it's Kenseth, Hamlin, Kyle Busch up to third, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, Mark Martin, as some other drivers are now getting service done on their cars. Actually, correction. I think Jimmy Johnson's the leader. I just remembered. Johnson did not pit as well as some other leaders, so this restart could be a little interesting, to say the least. I hope this isn't one of those cases where they pit like a lap after the restart, but because NR2003 likes to do that, so we'll see what happens. Oh, now they're going to pit. Interesting. Okay, so Johnson's going down, Burton's going down. Edwards and Greg Biffle, the all-time winner in Racing Infinity, is in second. Because I think I've done like 2 or 3 of these where Biffle just keeps winning. That's interesting. So, 2 Roush drivers. 1, 2. This will bump Elliott Sadler to 3rd. And then Matt Kenseth will be 4th. So, this is going to be interesting with the 99, the 16, and the 38. I do like some of the stuff B Lion's design has done. Really good stuff. I can imagine Patty Moyes in a music video. Yeah, anything's possible, right? And Shauna Robinson in Little Caesars commercials. Or Kmart, since that's Kmart was still relevant at the time. So this restart's going to be interesting. Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, and Elliott Sadler did not pit. The first one in line that has is Matt Kenseth, followed by Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart. As we're about to go back up through the gears, green flag in the air with almost 20 laps to go. I'm just picturing Shauna just driving through a Kmart. I could see that. She's just driving her car around looking for stuff to shop. That'd actually be a cool commercial. Oh, we got a crash in the back. Elliott Sadler, Tony Stewart, Brent Sherman. All hell is broken loose at Iowa. Oh, my God. Denny Hamlin into the wall. He had to evade the 16. What in God's green earth just happened? Several things just occurred on that restart. I don't even know who's leading. Kyle Busch is on pit road with damage. All hell is broken loose. Oh my God. To quote WWE star Booker T, oh my God, man. Yeah, literally the pace car just drove in and drove right back out. So it all started, Elliott Sadler, he dropped significantly on that restart, it felt like. Let me see. Went up high. Did the 49 make contact? Spins right in front of the 17. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte. Oh my God, man. Wow. Tony Raines with damage. He's done. Kyle Busch with damage. I'm going to, since I know how to use the slow motion effect now, let me do this all in slow motion, okay? So we can see what exactly in the world. So yeah, I think he got into the 49 of Brent Sherman. That is a lapped car. And then around he goes. Right in front of Matt Kenseth, who had been dominating up to this point. And then the first car to smack the 38, Jeff Gordon, hard into Elliott Sadler. Just off camera. Wait, this isn't Pocono 2010. See Sterling Martin, Bobby Labonte there. 32 might have clipped the 38. J.J. Yaley, Tony Raines. Heavy damage on the 96 machine. Ken Schrader involved. And just calamity. Absolute calamity. Oh my God. Oh God. Scott Wimmer finishing the job on the 5 machine of Kyle Busch. Takes out a lot of good cars. Some team owners will be asking for some financial support after this one. Now, a few other things happened up ahead. So Denny Hamlin evades. Biffle went up the track. This caused Hamlin to slap the wall. trying to see what else happened. I think that's about it. I noticed that the 29, the 8, the 12, and some other leaders actually decide to pit under these conditions, so they immediately went to pit road. Yeah, props to Mikey. I agree for avoiding that. So, who is all... Let's see here. Well, look at this. Casey Mears is now your leader. I don't know how. I don't know where he came from. But Casey Mears is now in line for what, at this point, could be his first career Nextel Cup win. Denny Hamlin sits in second. Casey Kane with a damaged front end is third. Jimmy Johnson is fourth. Jeff Burton fifth. Clint Boyer, Joe Nemechek, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Robbie Gordon, your top 10. All right. We have 20 laps to go, 19 to go at the line. Can Casey Mears prevail here this evening? Will it be Denny Hamlin? Will Casey Kane take a car that needs to go to the junkyard in the victory lane? Will Jimmy Johnson pull it out? Oh, yeah, Casey Kane, yeah. He's not up to speed here. Green flag back out as Mears tries to pull away from Hamlin. Trying to get that win for Chip Ganassi. Mark Martin up to third. After what was a chaotic restart, Casey Mears trying to pull off an upset here. Casey Kane, meanwhile, dropping back with that damage. That makes sense. Brent Sherman, that lap car, man, that car has just been in everything here this evening. Just been in the mix of everything. A lap down currently in March 23rd, actually. Hamlin trying to chase down Mears. Meanwhile, Mark Martin has now entered the picture. And now Mark Martin putting pressure on the 11. Will age and experience defeat youth and enthusiasm here tonight? Now, right now, it looks like it's these three cars in contention. I see that Jeff Burton... Oh, correction. The 6 is actually a lap down. I just realized that. I apologize. I don't know why I didn't notice that until now. Ugh. Battle for the lead. Here comes Denny Hamlin. Come on, Casey. Hang in there. Oh, Casey Mears not able to hang on. Denny Hamlin getting help from Mark Martin, who now Mark Martin's trying to put himself back on the lead lap as he looks to the inside of the rookie. Yeah, my apologies, guys. I just realized that, Mark Martin is a lap down. And because of Mark Martin putting some pressure on Denny Hamlin, Casey Mears is trying to fight back. I just don't know if Casey Mears has the stuff right now to catch Denny. Denny Hamlin had some damage on this right side, but he seems to luck into everything, it seems. Yeah, Mears is starting to lose ground here, so if Jeff Burton or Kevin Harvick or Jimmy Johnson want a shot at this, they're going to have to get around Casey as soon as possible. But I don't know. The laps just keep ticking away. Jeff Burton all over the back of that 42, and now that singular wireless Chevrolet to the inside of that Haviland Texaco Dodge, and Jeff Burton now moves to second, and he goes to work on Denny Hamlin. Kevin Harvick now will follow suit. Jimmy Johnson just may do the same thing. Tough break there. Casey Mears thought he had a shot to win this race. Still hoping for a good finish, though, here today. Definitely came out of nowhere. Battle for second, meanwhile, almost contact between teammates as Kevin Harvick works his way past Jeff Burton. Yeah, I know I mentioned Mark Martin was battling for position. He is actually a lap down. I did not realize that. So now, if the caution were to come back out, he would be back on the lead lap, I believe. Let me check. Well, yeah, he's currently back on the lead lap now since he's ahead of Hamlin. Harvick going pedal to the metal as we have... Let me do math in my head real quick. 8 laps to go. We are coming to 7 to go. Harvick trying to reel in Denny Hamlin. That interval's getting smaller and smaller. That 29's got some speed, but the question is, does he have enough time to make that move? He is closing in on that FedEx Chevrolet. Hamlin driving a, I can't believe it's not a Toyota. You see the interval close up again, just a little bit more. Six to go. Harvick's got to keep digging here. Slowly chasing in Hamlin some more. 5 laps remain. Heading into turn 1. Closer and closer and closer and closer. Kevin Harvick. Remember, his nickname is the closer. I don't know if he had earned that nickname yet in 2006, but he eventually would be known as the closer. He is all over the back of the rookie. Four to go. He is right there. Harvick does have some fresh tires for sure. Harvick, what are you doing? He just slid up the track and hit the wall. And now Hamlin's going down pit road, I think. What is going on? Hamlin is pitting. He must not have enough gas. Oh my God. Harvick just got lucky. He got lucky. He may need a Reese's after this one. He had just slid up the track and hit the wall. And Hamlin had to go down pit road. You're right. Harvick did have fresher tires. And it looks like Hamlin just didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end. We'll have to keep an eye on some of these other leaders here to see if there's any issues. We're coming to 2 laps to go. Again, Kevin Harvick is your leader. Jeff Burton is sitting in second. Well, that was a little wild for a moment there. I noticed the 31 and the 48, I think, hit the wall as well. So, what a wild race this has been out in Iowa. Coming to the white flag, it's Happy Harvick leading the way. White flag presented by not Credit One Bank because they didn't exist yet. I think National City was still around. I don't know. Off turn 2 for the final time. It's going to be a good win here for car owner Richard Childress. Have a Reese's on this one. Checkered flag waves. Kevin Harvick wins at Iowa. Harvick picking up the W. Jeff Burton is second. Jimmy Johnson is third. Dale Earnhardt Jr. fourth. Ryan Newman in fifth. Kurt Busch sixth. Robbie Gordon, what a great run for him today, finishing in seventh. 8th place is Clint Boyer. 9th place is Greg Biffle. And 10th place, it'll say Elliott Sadler. That is Jeremy Mayfield. Again, I got the 19 cars mixed up with the car set. So that is Jeremy Mayfield. So, oh, what a race, huh? Yeah, 23 cars finished that race. Wow. That was especially that big one there at the end. That was a wild one. So, big congrats to Kevin Harvick once again for getting the win. We thought Denny Hamlin was going to seal the deal, but looked like he just ran out of gas. And because of that, he finishes in 22nd. Where did Mark Martin finished 16th. He was the last car on the lead lap. I like to save my replays. I'm not joking. I have a separate backup drive where I literally have a bunch of replays and footage saved from previous years and SNL and all that. Anyway, before we jump into other forms of business, I just want to see what in the world happened. I'm getting off track. Okay. How long was he on pit road for? Yeah, definitely a splash and go for the 11. Because Harvick just went up the track, smacks the wall. Jimmy Johnson hit the wall too. And then Denny has to pit. So Harvick got insanely lucky here. If only Denny ran out and turned 4 Dale Jr. style. That would be even more crazy. Or if we just managed to get like a photo finish. I really thought we were going to get a photo finish there. So give me a quick second here, everybody. I'm going to do a quick thing with the thing. Alrighty, let me see if I can do this right. No, except that's not the right one that I want to use. I gotta change the photo. Did we just experience a hail Reese's? Yeah, I think we just did, honestly. Yeah, we'll dub that the hail Reese's. I like it. Alright, let me adjust this really fast. Ta-da! Okay. Also, a huge thank you to Jets Racing Designs for all the graphic work he's done and also helping out with the scripts for videos as well. He's been a huge help, and just wanted to give him a huge shout out. Once again, Kevin Harvick with the Hail Reese's, we are dubbing this. Picking up the win here at Iowa to begin our first of 2 races here this evening. And we'll get on to the Sunday Night Lights 1997 race from the Rockingham, UK track. So look at all those cars at DNF from this race. Absolutely wild. A wild one here at Iowa. Anyway, I'm working on the Olympics car set. Oh, that's pretty neat. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before, but they were thinking about trying to get auto racing involved in the 2028 Olympics in LA. And unfortunately, it didn't make the final cut. And I'm so bummed by that because I really wanted to see what that would look like. Coca-Cola break. Yes, actually, that's why I played out that music, is because I wanted to take a drink. Although it's a Pepsi, I admit. I'm excited to see the beginning arcs of Adam Petty, Kenny Irwin, Jimmy Johnson, Vickers, and Kane, etc. on SNL. Yeah, it's certainly something to think about. A lot of those guys are soon going to be entering the picture, and it's going to be interesting to see how they all net out in this timeline. Yeah, but remember, in Sunday Night Lights, Mark Martin, he is a champion, 1990. So, I think that deserves him getting a key to the city, right? I mean, come on. All right, so before I move on to the second race for this evening, I have something to show you guys. Again, a huge thank you to Jets Racing Designs for the graphics and everything else, but figured I'd show you guys a few screenshots of what is to come in Sunday Night Lights Restart Part 2. So, just take a look at this little slideshow of images that you see here. And I'm not gonna lie, I've really been getting better using FreeCam, and I admit that I've been using. I figured out how to use the zoom feature, so I think it's gonna make the quality look even better. Come on, Jet, you're awesome. So a lot of exciting stuff, of course. And of course, you see the big one that's going to be talked about in Part 2 for sure. Patty Moyes, the first female superstar of NASCAR. I'll let these run through a little bit longer just so you guys can take it all in, take a look at these. Hope you guys like them. It's just of what's to come. So, been going hard at work on these videos, and I know I'm going to utilize this weekend to work hard on it even more. So, Part 2 premiering Friday, May 17th, and then after that we'll be hitting the ground running for Sunday Night Lights 1998. I'm not gonna lie, using FreeCam and having the better graphics, I admit, I've been having so much fun with the screenshots and everything else. It would be cool to somehow still do, what was I gonna say? If I could do like those J-ski images at Daytona to start the year off, showing off all the paint schemes. Anyway. Does Days of Thunder still exist? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I will go more into that in Restart Part 2. But, yeah, that movie definitely still happens. Definitely still happens. I don't see why it wouldn't happen. Davey does the do. You know that Dewey Writer commercial? Well, what about Dewey Allison? Right? Oh, that's bad. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, the Move Over Boys comment. Yeah. I remember doing that race. And I just sat there. I was like... Because part of me was like, it would be cool to see Patty Moyes get a win. Just to see what would happen. And got that wish. So, I just sat there and I was like, this is a big deal. I will say this right now. The Michigan track that I have been using up to this point, create some great racing, create some great finishes, and some very fun winners. I don't know what it is. I just like it at this point because it just it makes things a lot of fun. Will Winston remain a title sponsor? I don't know. I mean, we discussed that a little bit, but that's just something that when we get to that point, we'll definitely discuss that more. Because if I remember correctly on J-Ski, I think even dating back to 97 or 98, there was already discussions about the title sponsor potentially changing. I'll have to go back and look. But that's what I do like, too, is that J-Ski has an archive of a bunch of reports and rumors and stuff like that. It's really cool to read on. I'll give it another minute or so, and we'll go on to the second race here this evening. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always. I really appreciate all the support. Let me know what your thoughts are on all this as well. Feel free to share Sunday Night Lights around, by the way. Feel free to share the series and all that around. Because, this is restart. This is pretty much going to be the new entry point of the series. Of course I did the prologue, 4 years ago, but this is going to be the new entry point that, this is ideally to introduce new people to the series. They can go back to Restart and watch this because everything's just presented better with the quality, with everything else. I admit part 1 was harder because I wish I could go back in time and save a lot of those old replays. I just happened to have the 81 and 84 500s. I had to go do some digging, and then I just randomly find it in the server we all have, and I'm just like, well, thank the Lord. I'm glad I at least have these two. So, I'm glad for those because I think especially the 84 one was a big deal. So yeah. All right, let me see. Will Talladega Nights still exist though? It will be Daytona Days. You know what? I didn't think about that. I still think it'll probably be different. Maybe it'll be a different name, but with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, I think they'll all be involved still. That's a while away though, so I will say one goal I have is by the time New Year's 2025 hits, I want to be complete with the 90s so I can jump into the 2000s. That's the hope. I feel like I can do that. So, let me see. Cigarettes bad. And that's the other thing, too. The big reason why R.J. Reynolds left as the title sponsor was because, the government was kind of, saying like, hey, we can't be doing these advertisements and everything anymore. And it just made it very difficult for Winston to continue to be the title sponsor. And not only that, you got to think about NASCAR's stereotypes. And in this timeline, obviously, of course, we're still celebrating the history of the grassroots. We'll always do that. But I'd say right now, going into 98, NASCAR is a bigger deal, I think, than in real life. And I think a lot of it has to do with the amount of superstars NASCAR has. You have Wallace, you have Earnhardt, you have Gordon, you have Kawicki, you have Richmond, and all these different guys. And not only that, the female movement. Patty Moyes, Shauna Robinson, Tammy Jo Kirk, Kelly Earnhardt, and whoever may be next. And I think because of that, they're probably going to look at NASCAR and go, Maybe they're not the crazy redneck sport that we think it is. It's a sport for everybody, and not only that, it's, you know, people are going to be like, wow, this is a great co-ed sport, because NASCAR's become a co-ed sport. You know, Patty Moyes has won at Michigan, and she ended up doing really well. Shauna Robinson comes in, wins a Busch championship, wins the Daytona 500, wins the Brickyard 400. What in the world, right? So, and Kelly Earnhardt winning a 500, and, you know, maybe Tammy Jo Kirk gets some wins, right? So, yeah, it's just, I think NASCAR is bigger, and you got to think about, no offense, but when you look at how at one point it was the Winston Cup, the Busch Series, and the Craftsman Truck Series, it is pretty stereotypical. So, again, that's just something worth discussing down the road, but, you know, motorsports in general is co-ed, which is cool. Exactly. By the way, Corvette, how you doing, man? But, yeah, I agree completely. I think it's great that it's co-ed, which is like, even now, that's why I want to see people like Haley Deegan and Tony Bruniger. I want to see them win, because I think that's going to be huge for the sport. That's going to have everybody talking. Maybe in that way we can get our own little Caitlin Clark effect. Because, obviously, you know, women's basketball is a big deal right now, which is great. I'm glad. And I think it's awesome that Caitlin Clark's playing in Indianapolis, because I'm 2 hours away from there. So it would be cool to actually like go up there and catch a game at some point. I know tickets will be hard to get, but it would be cool to catch a game at some point. Yeah, I know The Rock was rumored to have a team. I think in 2001 he was going to partner up with Hermie Sadler. Does anyone think that Shauna Robinson's cup car looks a little bit like the Laughing Clown? Oh my God! I didn't think about that either. Okay, I didn't think about that. That is comical. I based it off of John Andretti's car from 1996, I think, when he drove that car. But yeah. So... And plus, with her success, I mean, Little Caesars and Kmart are going to want to continue sponsoring her, because that's a big deal for them. Let's see. What else am I missing here? If Kaylee Bryson pursues NASCAR, and that's our best shot. I heard she's got a lot of talent. I'd love to see her pursue NASCAR. I feel like people understate how nothing like what Moyes and Robinson are doing has happened in any notable American sport. NHRA kind of, but they aren't big enough. Yeah, and I know it's select races this year. There's this, it's going to be a gateway too, I think, but they had it at Daytona, and it's this little, it's just like this mobile museum that celebrates like inclusion and diversity in the sport, you know, and it showcases a lot of like the female drivers. Like they had Danica Patrick's 2013 fire suit in there, and of course, you know, those names were brought up, Shauna and Patty, which I couldn't help but look at that and smile and think, look at that. Look how they're doing in SNL. It's just kind of cool to look at that. So if you go to a race this year and that's there, highly recommend you all check that out. I'm Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, there's some teasers for you guys on what's to come for Sunday Night Lights Restart Part 2, which will premiere Friday, May 17th. Which, by the way, I'm kind of tempted later to around midnight to see if I see any Aurora Borealis with all the Northern Lights stuff going on right now. And I just can't help but think of the Steam Hams meme. Aurora Borealis, at this time of place, at this time of year, localized entirely in your kitchen. But anyway, so yeah, we got a second race happening that was, once again, picked by you guys. We're going to do the 1997 Winston Cup Series Sunday Night Lights from the Rockingham, UK track. I'm Ross Chastain. I don't wreck people, but if it's Denny Hamlin, put that son of a bitch in the wall. Oh, that's good. Hey, man, I was there in 2022. I was there when I saw all that happen. I thought Denny lost his mind. Good Lord. I mean, I will say this too. I understand people are like, oh, he's too aggressive. But, everybody drives differently. Everybody has a different driving style. And not only that, when Chastity won the truck race, everybody looks back on that first start he had with Ganassi and how he nearly won that race if it weren't for that incident with Kevin Harvick. And, you look at a guy like Chastain who worked his butt off to get to where he is now. Never forget that. And he's come a long way. Did you see any of the Northern Lights? I did not. It's probably because there's just more light where I am, so... Yeah, I haven't seen any of them. If I do, though, that'd be pretty neat. I did see the total solar eclipse, because I just happened to be in Indianapolis. So I got to see it, total. You could actually look up for, the 3 or 4 minutes that it was fully covered. Man, what a sight that was. I mean, it looked so eerie, but so cool at the same time. It's just fascinating, that's all. It's just fascinating. Alright. So with that being said, let's jump into our second race today. So yeah, this was a track that I believe closed back in 2018. By the way, Terry Labonte, Davey Allison on the front row. Interesting qualifying here. Then it's Kelly Earnhardt, Ward Burton. And then the Max Verstappen of our timeline, Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon, followed by teammates Kyle Petty and Patty Moyes and Rob Moroso and Mark Martin. Alright.
Drivers, to your cars.
Man, these graphics look so nice. Anyway, let's take a look at our starting lineup for today's race. I always think of steamed hams when I see Aurora Borealis. Yep. So it wasn't a full one. Yeah. It was just cool to see that. That's just a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That was really neat. So yeah, Terry Labonte, Davey Allison, then Kelly Earnhardt and Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Petty, Patty Moyes, Rob Moroso, Mark Martin, followed by Bill Elliott and Bubba Nissen, Tim Richmond and Clifford Allison, Jeff Burton and Shauna Robinson. Yeah, I guess it does kind of look like that, doesn't it? Huh. Tammy Jo Kirk and Alan Kowicki, Dale Earnhardt and teammate Jeff Green. Yep, Bubba Nissen's here. There you go. The 96 champion. If I had a nickel for every time there was a funky-shaped oval called Rockingham, that was between a mile and a mile and a half. I know, right? But it's odd that it's happened twice. Yeah, so we got Joe Nemechek and Ricky Rudd, pair of teammates there. Kenny Wallace and Ernie Irvin next to his former ride. Dale Jarrett in the 32, Terry Schoonover, Michael Waltrip and Steve Grissom. Sterling Marlin, Wally Dallenbach Jr., Bobby Hamilton and David Green, Chad Little, Ken Schrader, Bobby Labonte, Kenny Brack, Eddie Mearswell, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Craven, Robert Presley, Darrell Waltrip, and Lake Speed. I am Speed. How does this affect Rusty's legacy? Well, I mean, Rusty was still a Hall of Famer and all that in our timeline, but it's interesting now that instead of him being a one-time champion, he's a four-time champion. And the way he's driving, you start to wonder, is he going to be a 5 or 6 or heck, maybe even 7-time champion? Maybe, does he race past 2005 with how good he is? You know, he's just been really good. That 97 season, he was just unstoppable, right? And Penske is already one of the top teams at this point, because in real life, they didn't win a title till 2012. Now they have like 3 with Rusty. And Sterling Marlin's been doing great too. Maybe he wins a title, right? So it's just crazy to think about that. I eat looses for breakfast. I've been watching a lot of Cars clips lately. I saw a clip of Rusty, the all-time owner driver. But, oh man. I was watching a bunch of old Cars clips and all that. And I think to myself how Cars 2 could have been done better. But, I'm always curious, like, in a timeline where Adam Petty's still around and all that, the scene where Cal tells Lightning that he's retiring, he's kind of like, don't worry. The family legacy will continue. My son Adam Weathers is going to replace me. Can you imagine that? That'd be something. That'd be kind of cool. I don't think Penske goes to Dodge in this timeline. Yeah, I mean, so much can still happen. You know, you never know. Okay, we're 25 seconds from the command to start the engines, and we will get going here. We have a total of 85 laps. 85 for Lake Speed, who, of course, you're going to find out in 98 who replaces him since he's retired. Not going to give that away. Because, you know, spoilers.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the engine's on fired, and we are rolling. Just like the band Limp Bizkit, we are rolling, rolling, rolling. Kind of curious to see how this track will be. I don't think I've ever used this track for NR2003, so you and I are going to find out together. I'm going to check to make sure every car is rolling here. Okay, good. In Cars 3, Cal Weathers is completely overshadowed by Pontiac Moise. Oh my god. Honestly, that would probably be her car's name, is Pontiac Moise. I could see it. I could honestly see it. That is so clever, Jet. That is so clever. I thought Cars 2 wasn't all that bad, but I feel like... Yeah, they should have... They should have taken the spy stuff and just made it a separate 30 to hour long special or whatever that airs on Disney, and then Cars 2 focuses on the World Grand Prix. Pace car down pit road off turn 4. The NASCAR Winston Cup Series goes racing from across the pond. We're underway from Rockingham, but not the one we're used to. Rusty Wheelhouse, 4-time Piston Cup champion. Yes. What would be a good one for Shauna? What would be a good car's name for Shauna? Shauna Roderson, maybe? I don't know. Terry Labonte for Joe Gibbs Racing leads lap 1 as Kelly Earnhardt moves to second and Rusty Wallace in third. Robin Spin. Oh, you know what? That one's better. Robin Spin could work. Yeah, a short film would have been better for a car spy thriller. You could have had McMissile and Shefwell and all that still involved. Because, I would have loved to have seen, like, the, I'm sorry for the lag there. I just would have loved to have seen more about the World Grand Prix and Lightning talking to the other racers and experiencing the world and all that. I feel like in Cars, Dale Earnhardt Sr. would have been Dale Earnhardt just because in Cars you had Dale Earnhardt Jr. Bubba Nissan would be easy. Just Bubba Nissan, right? Of course, then he would have to be a Nissan to make that fit. Because, yeah, exactly. Bubba Nissan. Yeah. Exhaust Trickle won the 1989 Florida 500. I love it. Alan Karwicki. How about Alan Karwicki? We could do that one. I feel like I was thinking about what my car's name would be as a Piston Cup racer. I think my name would just be Alex Grayspeed. I mean, it ties into everything perfectly. Alex Grayspeed. But yeah. All right, 5 laps are completed. Davey Allison now up to 4th. Good run for him here early on. Terry Labonte still leads. Kelly Earnhardt in 2nd. So if I could picture a Pontiac, Montana country singer named Hannah. In the Cars universe. I gotta write some of these ideas down because I love it. So we got Pontiac Moyes, we got Exhaust Trickle, we got Bubba Nissan, we got Shauna Robin Spin, Rusty Wheelhouse. These are some good names. Pretty calm start so far to this one. Let me switch up the cameras here. Yeah, this is the Rockingham, UK Oval Track. It's definitely got a very odd shape to it, but it's a unique track for sure. Tim Shiftman. Gotta be careful to say Shiftman because, if you say it differently, it sounds like you're calling him a bad name. Davey Autoson. Okay, yeah. Davey Autoson. We can do that. And Clifford Autoson, too. Joe and John Nemacharge. This is fun. I like coming up with the cars' names. How about some Cars version of the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC? I feel like you need to keep Backstreet just because the word street's involved. The Backstreet Bolts. Maybe the Backstreet Bolts could work. NSYNC, I'm not... N-Shift? I don't know. Tammy Jolt Kirk. Man, these are good. You guys are awesome. I love these names. Obviously, I know I'm trying to focus on the race here, but man, these are good. These are good. Man, we need to come up with like all these guys will look like in Cars form now. And well, Patty would just look like a Pontiac Grand Prix stock car probably. Pontiac Moy, excuse me. Spice Girls? The Spin Girls? Lincoln Park would be easy. It'd be Lincoln Park, but you spell it, like the car, Lincoln. SNL Cars 2, Racing Infinity movie. This is fun. We're having fun. Battle for second. Here comes Rusty Wallace to the inside of Kelly Earnhardt. Here's a real spectator view of to get a good idea what the track looks like. Now Davey Allison wants third. Or Davey Ottoson, I should say. And Allison now up to third. Yeah, Rusty, you should never count Rusty Wallace out if it's a Sunday Night Lights race. Let me tell you guys. Oh, God, we don't need another Rusty win. Please free us. More Rusty Wallace, more like Rusty Verstappen, am I right? Or maybe, since this is 97, Rusty Schumacher. Danny Crashall. Oh, gosh. What else is there? Ooh. For Terry Schoonover, what about Terry Spinover? Lake Speed would honestly just be Lake Speed. You don't need to change Lake Speed's name for that. Maybe Terry Labonte would be Terry LeSabre. Like the Buick LeSabre. SNL on the Cars World. I have an idea. It's been fun coming up with these cars names. Well, yeah, here Terry Labonte is a Chevy. What would Lake Speed... Would Lake Speed beat Ayrton Senna at in the Cars World? I'm assuming maybe some sort of... That's a good question, because I would assume Senna's probably an F1 car. Then again, you never know, because Jeff Gordon was a Corvette, Jeff Corvette. Lewis Hamilton was also a sports car. He wasn't a Formula 1 car, so... You never know. It could have been some sort of like junior racing circuit or something like that. Just a thought. Things remain pretty quiet here so far. Terry Labonte still leads. Rusty Wallace is second. World Grand Prix. I like how, I'm talking about SNL Restart, and we're talking about Cars lore for Sunday Night Lights. Davey Allison trying to give Rusty Wallace some trouble here, battling for second place. You look back here. Ward Burton holding his own pretty well. He's in fifth. And it's Jeff Gordon, Kyle Petty, Rob Moroso, Mark Martin, Bill Elliott. And there's Patty Moyes in 11th. And you got Bubba Nissen, Jeff Burton, Shauna Robinson, Clifford Allison, Tammy Jo Kirk, Dale Earnhardt, Tim Richmond, Jeff Green. There's Kenny Wallace, Alan Kowicki, Terry Schoonover, Joe Nemechek, Ricky Rudd, Michael Waltrip, Ernie Irvin, Bobby Hamilton, Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett, Steve Grissom, Ken Schrader, Chad Little, Bobby Labonte, Eddie Bierschwell, Kenny Brack, Wally Dallenbach Jr., Ricky Craven, David Green, Darrell Waltrip, Robert Presley, Morgan Shepherd, and Lake Speed is last. Just about a fourth of the way through here at Rockingham, UK. They did use the Buick LeSabre in NASCAR, so that would actually make a lot of sense then. For Terry LeSabre. Anyway. I don't know if he drove a Buick in real life, but at least I'm trying to remember. Oh, yep. Okay, in the early years he did. Ha! Thought of another one. 25 laps are complete. Please, for the love of God, don't let Rusty pass Terry. Well, it would be nice for Terry to win, just because, you know, he's on a bit of a winless drought currently. That 2-car, always a threat. Wallace peeking to the inside there, not able to get a run on the 17 as Labonte gets a good run coming off of turn 1. Now into turn 3. And our leaders are going to pit, it looks like. Ooh, a lot of swerving there. It scared me for a moment. Yeah, I think he did, because remember, in the very early 80s, I remember that the GM drivers actually had different models. So like they had a Chevy body, a Buick body, and I think a Pontiac body. So it's certainly possible. All right, green flag pit stops are underway. Not the best of camera angles here, but Terry Labonte getting some service done. And of course, a bunch of these leaders are as well. Rusty pulls out. Terry Labonte takes too long on pit road, and Rusty Wallace is gone. Oh gosh, Terry's crew really choked there. It looked like his crew took much longer than Rusty's did. So Rusty will have the lead, assumingly, once we cycle through. Which means Rusty's probably going to run away with it. Somebody, I guess they have Rob Moroso's crew. I mean, what? Yeah, Oldsmobile. Yeah, Oldsmobile too. It's crazy how GM had 4 brands at the time with Chevy, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, and Buick. I thought slow pit stops were Moroso's thing. Although I think Jeff Gordon is going to be second now at the end of all this. So Terry Labonte trying to work around Jeff Burton here. I'm sorry for the lag. We got a caution. Oh no, Bobby Hamilton. Heavy damage. Oh boy, what happened here? Oh, Jeff. Okay, it started with Jeff Green. He got into Joe Nemechek, who's coming off pit road. Bobby Hamilton, nowhere to go. Hits him hard. Eddie Bierschwell as well. Wally Dallenbach as well. Several cars involved in this one. I would assume that Bierschwell and Hamilton, their days are done. Ugh. No, Robert Presley getting a bit of that too. Oh hey, Lego Racers, nice. I thought that was the Lego race. I thought that was the Lego logo that I saw. Oh man. Yeah, just unfortunate. No, man. Robert Presley from out of nowhere. And, oh, yeah, Bierschwell, just an innocent victim. His day is definitely done. I'd say Bobby Hamilton is most likely done as well. Just a tough break for some of these guys. Right at the tail end of green flag pit stops as well. .30 laps are complete here at Rockingham, UK. And we'll see where everybody lines up. So Ken Schrader is now marked as the leader. So I just wonder if maybe he didn't pit yet? Because everyone else behind him practically has. You sound like you have a jet engine in your white noise. Are you Michael Waltrip? That's probably my ceiling fan making that noise. Sorry about that. I like having a fan on, especially when I sleep. Oh, yep. Inspect my garage stall. Yep, I might have some jet fuel. So yeah, Ken Schrader is your leader. Jeff Burton and Clifford Allison are a lap down. So let's see how long Ken Schrader lasts here. Coming back to the green flag to lap 33 of 85, and we're back underway. Schrader clears everyone. Now, can anyone make a move on Rusty Wallace? Jeff Gordon there in third place as it stands right now. Ken Schrader staying out there. All right. It's definitely had a good jump here. Definitely a good restart. Rusty Wallace clears the lap cars for second. And now we're going to see how long it takes, or how short it takes for him to catch up to Ken Schrader. Oh, good Lord. Rusty is reeling him in. This was expected. Do I see a Pepsi scheme? Yes, that is Clifford Allison's 97 car, the Diet Pepsi Pontiac that you see there. There you go. At this point, Wallace, it's only a matter of time. As Rusty Wallace peeks to the inside of Ken Schrader. Schrader tries to slam the door on Rusty Wallace as they head into turn 4. Coming back to the start and finish line. It's still that Judy Dunleavy number 90, driven by Ken Schrader. Oddly enough, Clifford Allison now trying to unlap himself if he can catch these two leaders. And Wallace gets to the inside of Schrader, but Schrader still hanging on, surprisingly enough. Okay. Man, how about Ken Schrader trying to hang on? Save us, Schrader. There's plenty of racing left, so Schrader's going to have to hang on for dear life for quite some time. Jeff Gordon back in third, but he's got 2 lap cars ahead of him before he could catch Rusty Wallace. Joe Nemechek fourth, Terry Labonte in fifth. And here's Rusty Wallace to the inside, and Rusty Wallace back out in front. Back out in front. It would make sense Kenny Wallace would lead if this track is a pile of dirt now. Well, never mind that. Now we see Rusty Wallace out in front. I'm going to see. I want to check on maps where the site is for the Rockingham UK track. Well, it says here as of 2024, everything's still standing. Huh. Yeah, it looks like the track itself is still there. It just says it's permanently closed. Yeah, it opened in 2001, closed in 2018. Trying to find what was the reason that it closed. After the sale of the venue, Rockingham held a super send-off to mark its final days of racing circuit on November 24, 2018. The circuit was sold to Rockingham Automotive Limited, who uses the facility for vehicle storage and logistics. In mid-2021, Constellation Automotive, who own brands such as Cinch and We Buy Any Car, purchased the sites. Since then, Constellation Automotive's online car sales brand Cinch has used the circuit to film YouTube content, including car reviews and lap time challenges, titled on its channel as Fast Laps. So yeah, the track is still there. It's just not a racetrack anymore. If I were the Bears, I would have drafted Rusty at number 1. Right? Oh, Cart did a couple of races there. But yeah, Rockingham, UK, that track is still there. It's just not a race. It's not used for races anymore. The WeBuyAnyCar.com guys own this track. I guess the group's called Constellation Automotive. Let me see. Yeah, they own WeBuyAnyCar.com. So yeah, the WeBuyAnyCar.com. Yeah, those guys now own that track. That is nuts. Oh, Connor Zilic. Yeah, he is a gem. He is something special. I can't believe that. The WeBuyAnyCar.com, the same company that owns that, now owns that track. The lore is crazy with this one. So, let's see. Just now hitting the halfway mark, and, yep, it's all Rusty Walls. Excuse me, right now. Clifford Allison is a lap down. He's trying to unlap himself, though. Imagine an alternate timeline where the NASCAR Cup Series then races at the Rockingham, UK track, and it's the WeBuyAnyCar.com 400. This right here is why parody is important, kids. Yes, this is why parody is very important. Hopefully Clifford Allison can put himself back on the lead lap. Hey, FC Cincinnati beat Columbus. Let's go. Anyway. Always good when FC Cincinnati wins. Always good. Will Connor Zilic drive full-time in the trucks in 2025? Depends when he turns 18, which I think is some point this year. It's certainly possible. Probably with Spire. Because, man, I'm not going to lie. The fact that he had all those issues at COTA and still almost won, like, yeah, that kid's got some talent. Like, Trackhouse has a future Cup champion on their hands, in my opinion. So, at least I hope that's the case, you know. MLS teams other than Miami have fun. But you know what's funny? I saw something on the news where they were talking about most popular MLS, or like who's the most popular MLS team. FC Cincinnati was second, which amazed me. Because I mean, well, it might make sense. When that team first came into the USL in 2016, they took the city by storm. Next thing I knew, everyone was wearing orange and blue around here. I'm like, this isn't even an MLS team. This is nuts. MLS teams other than Miami have fans? Well, the only reason Miami's the most popular one, but the only reason is because they have Messi. What are you going to do when he retires, you know? And they had an MLS team with the Fusion, and that team failed, so... Just funny, because the MLS is just, at this point in the SNL timeline, just a couple of years old. MLS has fans. Hey, man, we draw for FC Cincinnati, I'm just saying. Meanwhile, LA's got 2 teams, and I think they're putting a team in San Diego. Rusty Wallace possibly becoming a 7-time champ makes me curious for the future. Does history become rewritten and Dale Jr. or Carl Edwards become legends? I mean, we'll see. FC Cincinnati is the only hope the city has. Bruh. I mean, the Reds just had an 8-game losing streak, and I don't know how the Bengals are going to go, are going to do this year. I really wish we won the Super Bowl a few years ago now. We had it, man. We had it. Man. I live in Spain without the S. The NHL truck does happen. If you go back and watch the SNL 97, Lance Norrick does drive the NHL truck. Which apparently the reasoning behind that was because at the time, his dad was the mayor of Oklahoma City who was trying to get an NHL team there. And this was a decade before they got the Thunder. So, it's kind of wild to think back on that. Does Jimmy become a superstar? Well, you will find out within due time. We'll have to wait and see, right? And that's the beauty of all of this is, you never know who's going to become a superstar. I mean, we've already seen the case of that here. Trackhouse may be buying a charter from Stuart Haas and the 91 goes full-time. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I think both Trackhouse and 2311 won a third car. Anyway. Hey, Race fan. How you doing, man? Pittsburgh is looking at the possibility of an NBA or WNBA team. Interesting. I used to live in Louisville as a kid, and I know for the longest time there's been a huge group trying to get an NBA team there. We have the arena now, but, I'd love to see an NBA team in Louisville. Cincinnati, sure, but we need a new arena. Heritage Bank Center is unfortunately getting older, and I know Cincinnati's talked about an NHL team. Should have picked Sewell. Well, Jamar was a good addition. It's amazing how he made the Super Bowl that year with the worst O-line ever. I do worry for Joe Burrow's life. So I hope to God that finally we got an O-line that can protect him, because I don't want him to end up like Andrew Luck, Jimmy Johnson, that off-road truck guy. Boom! Confetti. Can we get some team-specific paint schemes? Actually, in real life, Lance Norrick did drive team-specific paint schemes. He failed to qualify at I-70 with a St. Louis Blues paint scheme. I don't know if there's a picture of it anywhere, although I would love to see a picture as a Blues fan. That's my favorite NHL team. Again, family in St. Louis. I grew up watching hockey games with my dad all the time, so I just became a big Blues fan. Which if Cincinnati gets a team, that might be tough. I mean, I'll cheer for them, of course, but I don't know if I want to root against the Blues after all these years, you know? Speaking of Louisville, Churchill Downs has hosted motor racing. Yeah, we see our leaders, by the way, pitting. Yeah, actually, it did, like, long ago. Because I read that Ray Haroon, the guy that won the inaugural Indy 500, apparently won races there. So, you know, let me see. I'm thinking of making Churchill Downs paved oval. That would be really cool if you could do that, actually. I would love to see that. Did you ever meet Jim Cornette? I have not. I have not met Jim Cornette. A Cincinnati NHL team get a successful Ohio NHL franchise. I mean, Cincinnati supports the Cyclones really well. They always have. It's an ECHL team, so it's like double A minor league. You know, I love the Cyclones, of course. But I mean, it would be cool to get an NHL team here too, if possible. You know, there's plenty of other markets that I know the NHL's looking at. Jad, I swear. Hey, I'm just happy the Blues finally have one, especially for the sake of my dad, who's waited his whole life for that. The KFC Yum Center, yes, it is perfect for an NBA team. You know, I know that the former AD and Rick Pitino at University of Louisville were against it, but I think the possibility exists that University of Louisville and an NBA team can share that arena. I think it would be great for the city. The only problem is Louisville is a small market, and obviously the NBA already, I guarantee you, they already have it put in place. I mean, they're going to just, heck, why even open expansion? Because we already know they're going to put a team in Seattle, and they're definitely putting a team in Vegas. Because everybody is going to Vegas. I mean, yeah, you'd get a lot of money out of Vegas, but I'm just like, man, what about it? Yeah. Louisville nearly landed a team in the early 2000s, but they didn't have a newer arena. So, would make a fun rival for the Pacers, because Pacers came from the ABA, and there was a team in Louisville there called the Kentucky Colonels, and that was always a fun rivalry. Where will Kenny Brack go in 1998? You will find out in the meantime. A Louisville NBA team can vastly increase the odds of that city having a good team. Don't remind me. Don't remind me how bad U of L basketball has been. I am banking heavily on football right now. I am banking heavily on football. We had a great year last year, and that was year one with Jeff Brom, so I'm hoping we could somehow get back to the ACC championship. And, you know, if we actually knew how to play offense, we would have beaten Florida State. So, and the other thing is, I'm tired of losing to UK, Kentucky. I'm tired of losing to them. Anyway, Vegas is inevitable. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm surprised the MLS hasn't looked into putting a team there. I feel like they're going to at some point, right? Right? Oh, yeah, by the way, I know everybody, Vegas has been getting all these sports teams. NASCAR did it first. Anyway, technically, right? Because 1998 is when the Cup Series began going there. We have a successful minor league hockey team in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, called the Tomahawks, the same city where the Paul Newman movie Slapshot. Yeah, Slapshot. I know what you're talking about. My dad showed me that movie. I will warn you people about that movie. It would not fly today. But I know they said it felt more like doing a documentary about, those kind of hockey leagues back in the day. And I know the ECHL, I think, had the Johnstown Chiefs, if I'm correct. Yeah, Slapshot. I have seen that movie. Again, if you ever see that movie, I'm warning you, that movie will not fly today. I'm just gonna leave it as that. Oh yeah, F1 did do it first with the frickin' Caesar's Palace. What the heck? The Caesar's Palace parking lot. Now they race on the strip. Got a few things I'd like to say about F1, but we're sticking on the NASCAR train for today. Seattle Storm has won 3 championships since '08, and they've still yet to bring back the Sonics. Oh, the Sonics will come back. I think the Sonics will come back in due time. So now that they got the Kraken and the renovated arena there, I think they'll get a basketball team before long. Okay, yeah, it was. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I saw them play the Cyclones many years ago. It's a car park, not a parking lot. Formula One World Champion. Yes, Formula One World Champion J.J. Yaley. One of the greatest F1 drivers ever. There was also the NHL outdoor preseason game where the ice couldn't stay solid. Yeah, I could imagine. I tried looking up the St. Louis Blues truck. Couldn't find a picture of it, but I did find a picture of the Phoenix Coyotes truck. It was just the normal. Yeah, I think it was something like that, yeah. Oh, you mean the Utah, whatever they're going to be called? Yeah. I feel bad for those fans, obviously, in Phoenix. I feel bad. It always sucks with a city losing their team. But the ownership was bad, and they were playing in a college arena. I mean, they couldn't sustain off of that, so, I don't think, who the hell are the Coyotes? Yeah, who are the Coyotes? Remember, the Coyotes were the original Winnipeg Jets. One of my favorite hockey players, Keith Tkachuk, started with the original Winnipeg Jets. Of course, he later went on to play for the Blues, and now his 2 kids are playing in the NHL. Could we see a NASCAR Kentucky Derby race at Kentucky Speedway and Sunday Night Lights? Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, they could definitely put an outdoor preseason game in Phoenix. Yeah. Put it at Phoenix International Raceway. Yeah, why not, right? I know, speaking of which, I know the Jacksonville Jaguars, they want to make their stadium like the SoFi Stadium of the South, but they've talked about the idea of playing at Daytona International Speedway. And I want it just for the chaos. While they renovate it, they want to play at Daytona possibly. I want it for the chaos. I want it for the chaos. I want to see what it looks like. I'm all in for it. The Winnipeg Jets, you mean the Atlanta Thrashers? Yes. Fun fact, I actually saw the Thrashers play a couple times as a kid. I saw them play in St. Louis in 07. Yeah, Christmas 07. And then my dad took me on a business trip spring of 08, and I saw the Thrashers play the Flyers in Atlanta. So yes, I have seen an Atlanta Thrashers hockey game. And I always thought their jerseys were cool and their logo and the uniforms. And I know Atlanta wants a team because, well, TNT. That's the big reason why. But it's tough since they had 2 teams before. But, I mean, again, the ownership was an issue last time. So hopefully, if things are done well, they can support it. Yeah, Bristol Motor Speedway had the game between Virginia Tech and Tennessee. That was 2016. They should put a bowl game there. Why not? It could be fun. You know, be a different way to do these bowl games too. If you're gonna have all these bowl games, let's have some unique venues out of it. You know, maybe Daytona hosts a bowl game. Stuff like that. First, F1 forgets Vegas is cold in November. Now let's have the NHL forget Arizona is hot. That reminds me of Jeff Dunham. August in Phoenix, Arizona. Your agent is a moron. Your ass is on fire. It's the dry heat. The Atlanta Thrashers become a dynasty. I'm not gonna lie. Every now and then, I think about non-racing stuff in the SNL timeline, just for fun. Come up with certain different things. In this timeline, the Bengals win Super Bowl 56. Anyway, it still hurts, man. It still hurts. All right, I know I've lost track of things because, well, Rusty Wallace has driven away. Super Rusty here has pulled away, so he's got about almost a 7-second lead on Jeff Gordon. This has been the story of 1997. That's why I made the comments it was an incredible battle for the championship. For second. Or something like that. It was a great battle for second because Rusty Wallace was gone. It was 4 races ago. I think he had a 639-point lead. I mean, good Lord Almighty. Rad Rusty. Oh yeah, I've seen that commercial. The alternate timeline where Tom Brady becomes the greatest baseball player for the Montreal Expos. Yeah, I love that. That was good. Perhaps Michael Jordan becomes an even bigger player. Well, I mean, he is the GOAT. Maybe you think about, what if he never tried to go to baseball? What would his stats then had looked like if he'd played during that whole time that he played baseball? That'd probably make Space Jam set up a little differently, too. Because that movie it did center around Jordan playing baseball and then the whole basketball thing. Reminder, by the way, that I brought up Space Jam. Reminder that they were thinking about doing a race jam with Jeff Gordon. I kind of want to do that now on SNL. Do something with that. SNL, where anything can happen except the Leafs advancing through round 1. Hey, that's me with the Reds whenever they make the playoffs. The Cincinnati Reds. Because literally they cannot get past the first round. That used to be the Bengals, too. Are we sure this is Rusty Wallace and not Max Verstappen? Any chance of post-race inspection? Good point. How many laps do we have left? We have 3 to go. I think some drivers are starting to pit. Yeah, Eli Manning beat him with the San Francisco Giants twice. Charles Barkley gets a championship ring in this timeline. 2 to go for Rusty. Some leaders are pitting. Even that's impossible. Yep, Jeff Gordon did appear in Back in Action. Yes, he did. Because Yosemite Sam stole his car, his race car. Rusty got held up for a moment by Kyle Petty. Question is, can Rusty make it the rest of the way? It looks like he's going to, as we're coming to the white flag. And white flag. Sponsored by Bank of America, because somebody actually brought that up earlier. That's clever. 14.5-second lead. Davey Allison is second. It's been nothing but Rusty Wallace throughout most of this race, and he's going to finish things up here with the win here at Rockingham, UK. Into turn 4 for the final time. Checkered flag waves. Rusty Wallace wins at Rockingham. The pain is over, guys. Don't worry. I'm kidding. Oh, man. Rusty out here looking like the LA Dodgers. This is the British Rockingham, right? Yes. Yes, it is. The goofy oval-shaped one. Well, they both have goofy shapes. But yes, this is the UK Rockingham. Dale should have absolutely had a cameo in Zombieland. Well, he did in '98. He cameoed in a movie called Basketball, which was made by the same guys who make South Park. Because I forgot which one was which, but he does Cartman's voice at one point. He's like, you guys, seriously, I'm fat, and stuff like that. To psych out all the players, but yeah. Like the lady was asking the taxi driver, can you go any faster? And it's Dale Earnhardt just going, can I go fast? Puts on his helmet. Hang on! I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Lights out and away we go. Rusty Wallace wins. Yes. Rusty gets deported to Penske Kart. I mean, honestly, I wonder if Rusty should just try the 8500 at some point. my NR2003, my top 5: Rusty, Bubba, Nissen. So yeah, Rusty Wallace is your winner. Davey Allison second. Shauna Robinson third. Mark Martin fourth. Rob Moroso fifth. Terry Labonte in sixth. Sterling Marlin is seventh. Eighth place is Bubba Nissen. Bill Elliott is ninth. And 10th is Lake Speed. Where did he come from? Wow. I know there were some pit stops, so maybe that's probably why. If Rusty wins the 1998 Daytona 500, I think Alex is going to break his no interference rule. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'll leave this up for a moment and show the final results for you guys. 17 viewers. Again, I think that's the most I've ever done for a stream, so thank you guys very much. Mark Martin gets the key to his hometown in this timeline. Yeah, you know what? I'd say he does. I'd say he does. We do have a lot of stuff planned for 98 for sure, though. We do. I remember when I first saw Basketball, I was wondering if the taxi driver was Dale Earnhardt. Turns out it was after a few rewatches. Yeah. Yeah, because I know those were the same guys who make South Park. Yep. Matt Stone, Trey Parker. Yeah. Anyway. Turbo competes in the Daytona 500 instead of 8500. That should have been a sequel, honestly. That actually would have been kind of cool. Turbo 2. Turbo. Yes. Yeah, NR2003 OST, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Miller, the Beer Champions SNL ad. You know what would be difficult? Now that Gateway's on the Cup schedule and Rusty's from St. Louis, it would be tough because St. Louis is home to Anheuser-Busch. You know, Budweiser, Busch, and all that. So it's kind of like, oh. Indeed shows the way at the UK's Rockingham. Yes, he does. Yes, he did. Oh, man. You had to look up who all appeared in Basketball. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dale Earnhardt, Reggie Jackson, Tim McCarver, Pat O'Brien, Dan Patrick, Bob Costas, Al Michaels. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, man. So, yeah, if you guys have any other questions before I wrap things up, feel free. Yeah, Dan Patrick. Apparently he was... I'll have to go back and look that up then. So I'll go ahead and leave you guys with the teasers again. Yeah, feel free if you guys have any thoughts on anything or questions, feel free to ask. And, of course, part 2 of Sunday Night Lights Restart premieres Friday, May 17th. I'm probably going to get back to work here on all that stuff here in just a bit. Been going for about, 2.5 hours. I could probably go then 4 more minutes, see if I can hit the 2:30 threshold. So yeah, if you guys have any more thoughts or comments on anything, feel free to say anything. I'm still here. Yes, so much can happen. We got a lot planned, especially for 98 and all that moving forward. Do I need to watch anything between part 1 and 2? Not necessarily. So, obviously, there are all the other videos. If you feel like you want to go back and watch those, feel free. But, obviously part 2 will come out. And as I said, the idea of Restart is that it's just the new entry point. It's like the new prologue, if you will. What are your thoughts on South Park? I enjoy it from time to time, Sometimes my TV next to me, I'll just have it play in the background or something. It's amazing. I feel like that show can go on forever because it's just so timely with their stuff. And they can make episodes so quick. I mean, that's just something to think about. But there's a reason why it's successful, and there's a reason why all sorts of people enjoy it. So, very unhinged, of course, very crazy, but still, there's a reason why it's popular. And then again, I also enjoy watching Family Guy, too. So, yeah, we had a wild first race at Iowa, and then a more, less dramatic second race. Will the old SNL prologue video stay up? Yeah, probably. That video does have a lot of views, so I'm not taking any of those older videos down. They will stay there. Feel free to go back and watch them. Again, this is just like a new entry point. But yeah, all those old videos will stay. They're not going anywhere. I don't plan on doing that, so. Plus, it's just kind of fun to look back on it all and see how far, progress has been made, see how far things have come. So, in terms of the timeline as well as my ability to make videos and all that stuff. So, yep, history is about to change. Got a lot of fun stuff lined up for Restart Part 2 and all that. And, of course, after that, 1998. So, stay tuned for more updates, especially throughout the week and after, of course, Restart Part 2 comes out. I sure hope Davey Allison does something in the second half of Part 2. Yeah, I hope so, too. He's been struggling, and hopefully he gets a championship. The 1998 Brickyard 400 presented by Twix. The good old Twix Yard meme. Patty Moyes would have made a guest star in a Lisa-centric episode. Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be kind of cool. Kind of think it would be kind of cool if somehow you can get in Blender, get a render of Shauna's car driving around inside a Kmart, pretending like she's picking up groceries with her car. Get the blue light special. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, seriously, thank you guys for tuning in. I think this is the most viewed live stream I've had. If you look into the description of my videos as well, I know I don't promote it a whole lot, but there is a merch shop. There is a Gray Speed merch store. So, if you ever want to have some, I guess they call it Gray Speed drip, feel free. But, because, fun story, I've had some people at work actually get some Gray Speed merch, and they've really been liking what I'm doing. So, that means a lot, really. And I appreciate just any support. I do renders. I do renders, not the models. Don't pressure me. That's fair. Kind of like Kyle Larson's Target commercial. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's fair. Not the models. If only I... At one point, I tried to learn how to use Blender, and one of these days I ought to get back and at least learning how to do renders of those more often. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. So, once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun, as always. Stay tuned for more info. And, of course, the premiere of Part 2 of Sunday Night Lights Restart will cover 1989 to 1997. And then after that, we're on to 1998, which will be a big year because it's also the 50th anniversary of NASCAR. Have a good evening, y'all, and don't let Rusty find you in your dreams. Yeah, exactly. It's just the number 2 car. Yeah, no. I've seen videos of this. Rusty Wallace's car just racing around in the back rooms. Have you seen those videos? Like the back rooms, there's like one of like Formula 1 cars going by and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah. Besides that, thank you guys so much as always, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Be sure to wish your mothers a happy Mother's Day as well. And yeah, that'll do it. So take care, guys, and I will see you next time.